Hello everyone. Today in this video, we are going to discuss one small topics which are very beneficial for the IBPS A4 examination men's examinations. Yesterday, I have given a video in which just we have asked you to go through the every questions, write down the name of the topics, or you just analyze the questions. Okay, and also I told you that I am not going to give any detailed explanation regarding the various questions. From the next video, we'll from the today onwards, we'll bring some video on those topics along with the explanations which are beneficial or from which topics the question has been asked in the IBPS men's examinations. Okay, then I hope you have gone through the previous year papers. Okay, one more previous year paper I'll upload in the just to analyze. Okay, and daily a small video on the some important topics also will be uploaded on this channel. Okay, so let's see today's topic. This one, deficiency systems. Okay, this one we'll see at the last of the lectures. Okay, first let's understand regarding the elements. First, what do you mean by essential elements? Okay, simply essential elements means those elements without which plant cannot complete its life cycle. Okay, means if plant cannot complete its life cycle, it means they are directly those elements will be directly involved in the plant metabolism as well as the biological functions. Okay, the element, a particular element will perform the particular biological functions which cannot be performed by the other element also. Okay, if any elements wants to qualify for the essential nutrients, okay, then they must satisfy the essentiality that is required for the an element to be essentials. Okay, then this was essentiality criteria was proposed by Arnon and Stout. Okay, and after that, when this essentiality criteria was given in 1939. Now see, for this there are some criteria. First criteria is that the deficiency of an element or essential nutrient element makes it impossible for the plant to complete the vegetative or reproductive stage of its life cycle. Means if there is a deficiency of the essential nutrients, then it will become very difficult for the plant to complete its vegetative or the reproductive life cycle. Okay, or the deficiency is specific to the element and can be prevented or corrected only by supplying the nutrients. Suppose if there is a deficiency of nitrogen, then that deficiency can be managed by supplying nitrogen only. It cannot be satisfied by supplying other essential elements instead of the nitrogen. Okay, and the elements should be directly involved in the nutrition of the plant. These are the three criteria for an element to be essentials. Okay, now just you can see that so far 17 essential nutrients have been recognized for the plant growth. And one more important point that you have to keep in mind, that when you talk about the essentiality of the nutrients, then essentiality definition is given by Nicholas and criteria was given by proposed by Arnon and Stout. Okay, so far I told you 17 essential units have been recognized for the plant growth. Which are they? Carbon, CHON means carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, molybdenum, chlorine, and nickel. Okay, out of these 17 elements, 3 elements, that is CHO, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, makes up nearly 95 to 96% of the dry matter of the plant. And the 3 elements, now remaining 14 elements together constitute only 4 to 5% of the dry matter. Next, beneficial nutrients. Okay, means that are those nutrient or mineral element that stimulate the growth of the plant. Okay, and they also have some beneficiary effects in the plant at very low concentration. Okay, or you can say that which are needed by only few plants in under specific conditions, that is beneficial elements like sodium, vanadium, cobalt, and silicon. Okay, next is how much beneficial elements are there? 4. Just note down each and every point. There are 4 essential elements 17. Okay, now next one is functional nutrients. DJ Nicholas coined the term functional or metabolic nutrient. Okay, and any nutrient that functions in the plant metabolisms. Okay, or maybe that its action may be a specific or not. Okay, that is known as the functional nutrients. When you talk about the functional nutrients, then it is essential nutrients plus the beneficial nutrients. It means 17 plus 4. How many total? 21 functional nutrients are there. Now, depending upon the quantity required by the plant, it is plant nutrients are divided into macronutrients, micronutrients. First, see macronutrients. Nutrients which will be required by the plants in the concentration greater than the 1 ppm, that will be termed as the major or macronutrients. When you talk about the macronutrients, this is also required in large quantity. Okay, these will include chlorine, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. See, when you talk about the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, this can be easily we get from the air and the waters. Okay, so these are the basic elements. If you see remaining 6 major nutrients, that is NPK, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur, they are further divided into the primary and the secondary nutrients. Primary nutrients, because they are larger, plants require it in larger quantity. Okay, like NPK. Secondary nutrients, okay, like magnesium and sulfur, because they are required in moderate quantity by the plants. Sometimes secondary nutrients is also called as the amendment nutrients. Now it is clear from the name only, it will be required in the smaller quantities, or you can say the less than 1 ppm. What I'm talking, minor or micronutrients. These will include iron, manganese, zinc, copper, nickel, boron, molybdenum, and chlorine. Okay, again you can subdivide into micronutrients into cationic micronutrient and ionic micronutrients, like iron, manganese, zinc, copper, nickel. They are cationic micronutrients. And ionic micronutrient, boron, molybdenum, chlorine, they are as anionic micronutrients. Okay, they are also known as the trace or oligo elements. Even boron is absorbed as a neutral also, S3BO3 molecule. Next is blast element. This is silicon aluminum. Okay, which is a you see, if silicon is the second and aluminum is the third abundant element in the earth crust. Out of which silicon is non-metal and aluminum is metal. Okay, then they are present in significant amount in plant tissue. Okay, then they are known as the blast elements. They provide strength to the plants. Okay, suppose if we talk about silicon and sodium, particularly in the paddy field, they are very beneficial. Molybdenum has been the important component, this component of the nitrate reductase and nitrogen enzymes, which are associated with the nitrogen metabolisms. Okay, you can take the screenshots. In this, you have to remember the concentration of the various elements in the plants, in which form plants uptakes, and by whom it was discovered. That is not necessary, but the form in which plants takes it and the concentration in plants, that you should remember. Like we talk about the basic elements, carbon in plants concentration is 45%, form of uptake is CO2. Similarly, if you see primary nutrients, carbon, this nitrogen, its concentration 1.5, and you see nitrogen is taken in the form of cation as well as the anion. Okay, similarly you can take the screenshot and go through this chart. Regarding the sulfur, it was asked in the IBMS A4 2018. Similar for the micronutrients also. Now this if you talk about the mobility of the nutrients, then they have different kinds of mobility in the plant, within the plant, and within the soil, and this was proposed by the R.H. Bray. Okay, now when you see mobility in soil, then you can see S3BO3 minus, S2BO3 minus, they are very mobile. SO42 minus and nitrates, they are very mobile in soil. NH4 plus, Ca2 plus, Mg2 plus, they are moderately mobile in soil. And zinc plus, H2PO4 minus, HPO4 minus, they are immobile in the soil. When you talk about the mobility in plants, within the plant, highly mobile NPK and Mg, they are highly mobile. Zinc is moderately mobile. Less mobile, you talk sulfur, iron, copper, and immobile is calcium and boron. This also you have to remember that the deficiency which of the nutrient deficiency indicator plant. Suppose if you talk about the copper deficiency, which one is the indicator plant? Of course, it's the wheat. Similarly, you have to remember for the nitrogen and calcium, phosphorus, potassium, it's potato, sodium, sugar beet, boron, sunflower. You can take this screenshot for further memorizing. Now, these are the some other informations that which have the enzymatic activator property, or which provides the basic structure like carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay, energy exchange elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen, energy storage, transfer, and bondings, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Okay, you can also take this screenshot and memorize this, because these things you have to keep in mind. Thank you guys. Again, tomorrow I will give you important videos and some important topics if you want. Okay, and similarly, small videos will be posting on a particular topics, so that in that topics can be revised in a quick time. Thank you.